Captain of 50. This is probably one of the lesser known stories of the Bible, and yet it's one of my favorite. This just shows the power of God. It's also one of the two stories where Elijah calls fire out of heaven. The other one is a more popular story, more well-known story, the story of Mount Carmel. And yet this one here is a dramatic story. Some say that it shows Elijah as one of his last miracles that he did before God took him up. Maybe they say it maybe shows him a little less patient in his old age. But personally, I just feel it shows the power of God through this great man. It's interesting. This is the first story in the book of 2 Kings. Now, originally, 1st and 2nd Kings was one book. And if you look at it in that way, the book starts with Solomon building the temple. You have the people coming together. God filling the temple with His presence, the people worshiping God, Solomon dedicating this temple to the Lord and making a promise that he would live true to God. Yet it ends with the people turning away from God and being wicked, and finally God leaving the temple and then allowing it to be torn down like He promised that it would be. This all happens in the book of Kings. Now, this particular story is not recorded in Chronicles because Chronicles only talks about the kings and the events in Judah, which is the southern kingdom. It has nothing about Israel, which is the northern kingdom. And so that's why you find it here in the book of 2 Kings. A couple of interesting things about this book. One is the idol, or the little god of Beelzebub. Now, this is not Baal, even though it has the word Baal in it. And it's not to be confused with Beelzebub, which is a name for Satan. Now, this was a god that its temple was found in the city of Ekron. And the reason that Ahaziah sent his servant to this god was that it was believed that it had the power of prophecy. And that's, of course, what he wanted. He wanted to know something in the future. The other thing is that Ahaziah, he was, as is mentioned, he was the son of Ahab. In the last years of Ahab, Ahaziah was a co-king. And it was during that time that he made an arrangement with Jehoshaphat on a shipping venture, which was totally disastrous. After his father died, King Ahaziah was king for just 2 more years. Well, I hope you enjoy this little story, and I hope it becomes one of your favorites as well, and one that you can easily retell. Well, come back next week when we continue on with insights on the story of the week. We'll see you next week.